My brothers and sisters, many of us reach a point in life where the pressure becomes almost unbearable and the need for money becomes immediate. The bills rise faster than we can handle, the responsibilities grow heavier by the day, and the heart begins to sink under a weight that only Allah truly understands. In these moments of desperation, Shaitan whispers shortcuts that lead directly into haram, convincing people that disobedience will somehow bring relief. But nothing that displeases Allah will ever bring ease, and nothing earned through sin will ever carry barakah. True relief comes when you avoid the traps that block your rizq and turn sincerely toward Allah with the du'as taught by the prophets and sealed by the words of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you return to Allah, seek His help, avoid what He has forbidden, and recite the du'as that open doors, you will see how quickly Allah replaces your hardship with unexpected blessings. One, haram income destroys barakah. One of the greatest and most dangerous causes of blocked rizq is earning money through haram means. Many people think that because haram income comes quickly and easily, it will solve their problems, reduce their stress, or give them a better life. But what they do not understand is that haram income may enter your hands, but it never enters your heart with peace. It brings no comfort, no stability, and no blessing. Rasulullah ﷺ warned us that any flesh nourished by haram, the fire is more deserving of it. And this statement alone should make every believer tremble. It means that haram money carries within it a hidden darkness that consumes the barakah of everything it touches: your wealth, your home, your health, your relationships, and your inner peace. People often believe that the amount they earn is what matters. But Allah teaches us that what truly matters is the purity of that income. You might earn a high salary, yet every month you feel broke, pressured, and suffocated. You might have money coming in, but it disappears as quickly as it arrives. You might buy things but never feel satisfied. You might build a house but never feel peace inside it. This is the effect of haram income. Money without barakah is like food without nourishment. It fills the stomach but starves the soul. It gives temporary comfort but long-term emptiness. It looks like wealth but behaves like a burden. Some people also wonder why their du'as are not being accepted, why their salah feels heavy, why depression and anxiety suddenly rise without reason, and why their children become difficult, rebellious, or distant. The believer must always check the purity of their income, because haram does not just harm the person earning it, it affects every member of the family. A home built on haram becomes spiritually weak. A heart fed with haram loses its sensitivity. And a soul nourished with haram becomes distant from Allah without even realizing it. When a person earns halal, even if it is a small amount, they feel peace in their life, they sleep better, they smile more, their heart feels lighter, their home becomes filled with tranquility. Their children grow in an environment of barakah. Their du'as rise with more purity and their efforts begin to show results. But when a person earns haram, even if it is a large amount, everything feels unstable, temporary, and stressful. This is why scholars say that halal is not just about money, it is about spiritual oxygen. Without it, the soul suffocates. If you want your rizq to increase, your heart to feel peaceful, your home to feel blessed, and your opportunities to open, then you must purify your income. Leave anything doubtful, anything shady, anything dishonest, and anything that displeases Allah. The moment you make this decision sincerely, Allah begins to replace what you left with something far better. Allah never takes something from you except to give you something greater in return. The powerful dua of Musa alayhi salam for rizq and relief. Recite the beautiful dua that Musa alayhi salam made during one of the most difficult moments of his life, when he was exhausted, lonely, homeless, and unsure of what the future held. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqirun. This dua carries humility, trust, and full dependence on Allah. With this single dua, Allah granted Musa alayhi salam a home, a family, safety, employment, and stability. Recite it with sincerity and trust that Allah will open for you doors you did not even know existed. 2. Oppressing others blocks your rizq. Another major reason why a person's sustenance becomes blocked is when they harm others in any form, emotionally, financially, verbally, or through injustice. Oppression is not only physical harm, it includes every action that causes difficulty, stress, or unfairness to another human being, when you speak harshly to your parents, when you insult your spouse, when you humiliate your children, when you mistreat workers, when you underpay employees, when you cheat your customers, or when you delay giving someone what is rightfully theirs, you are not only hurting that person, you are harming your own destiny. Many people do not realize that every act of injustice sends a ripple through their own rizq. What you take from others unjustly, Allah removes from your life in ways you often do not notice until it becomes too late. Rasulullah ﷺ taught us that oppression will become layers and layers of darkness on the day of judgment. But what many people forget is that oppression brings darkness into your dunya long before the hereafter. It casts a shadow over your life. It blocks your happiness. It removes the sweetness from your wealth. It blocks your barakah. It disturbs your sleep. It makes your home feel heavy. It weakens your relationships. It creates stress that seems to come from nowhere. When you harm people, you are actually building walls between yourself and Allah's blessings. That is why you may find individuals who earn a lot of money but feel no peace. They sleep on soft mattresses but wake up with heavy hearts. They have full wallets but empty souls. This is the effect of injustice. Some people wonder why their life does not move forward. They say, I try so hard but nothing works. Every door opens for others, but not for me. My home feels filled with tension. My children do not respect me. My efforts bring no result. They think the problem is fate or bad luck, but often the answer lies in the people they have harmed. Allah does not allow prosperity to flow into a life built upon injustice. You cannot hold back someone's rights and expect Allah to open your own doors. You cannot make someone else cry and expect your own heart to be filled with peace. You cannot destroy someone's trust and expect barakah to enter your earnings. Allah will not bless a person who closes the doors of justice on others. If you owe someone money, pay it back immediately. If you borrowed something, return it. If you made a promise, fulfill it. If you hurt someone with your words, apologize sincerely. If you oppressed a worker, correct your behavior and pay them fairly. If you delayed someone's salary, give it to them without excuses. And if you have ever broken someone's heart, seek forgiveness from them and from Allah. Rizq grows with honesty, humility and fairness, not with arrogance or oppression. When you repair what you broke, Allah repairs what is broken in your life. When you return what you took, Allah returns what was taken from you. When you ease someone's burden, Allah removes the burdens that are crushing you. This is the justice and mercy of Allah. The dua that brings barakah and protects you from haram. Recite this powerful dua taught by Rasulullah sallallahu with a sincere heart. Allahumma kfini bihalalika an haramika wa aghnini bifadlika amman siwaka. This dua asks Allah to fill your life with halal wealth, protect you from the temptation of haram, make you satisfied with what He has given you and free you from depending on anyone else. When you recite it sincerely, Allah places barakah in your earnings, blesses your efforts, softens people's hearts toward you and enriches your life through His endless mercy and bounty. 3. Complaining about Allah instead of speaking to Allah. Another powerful reason why many people feel stuck in their rizq is because they spend more time complaining about Allah than speaking to Allah. This habit silently destroys blessings, weakens the heart and blocks the doors of sustenance in ways people do not even realize. There are individuals who talk endlessly about how unhappy they are, how difficult their life is, how everyone else is moving ahead while they are not, how their prayers are not being answered, and how their situation never seems to improve. They complain to friends, relatives, co-workers, and even strangers online, but they never turn to Allah with sincerity and humility. Complaining becomes their routine, while dua becomes something they do only when they feel completely broken. They forget that complaining to people changes nothing, while speaking to Allah changes everything. Allah Himself says in Hadith Qudsi, I am as my servant thinks of me. This means that the way you view Allah directly shapes the way Allah blesses you. If you think Allah is unfair, your life will feel unfair. If you think Allah has abandoned you, you will feel abandoned. If you believe Allah is holding you back for no reason, you will always feel stuck. But if you believe Allah is protecting you, your heart will feel safe. If you believe Allah is delaying something because the timing is not right, you will feel calm. And if you believe Allah has planned something better for you, your heart will open and your soul will begin to trust the process of life. The problem is not only the difficulty you face, it is the doubt you carry in your heart about Allah. My brothers and sisters, understand something very deeply. Every time you complain about life, you are indirectly complaining about the one who controls life. When you constantly say, why does nothing work for me? Why is my rizq blocked? Why is my life hard? Why am I always struggling? You unknowingly push blessings away, because if your heart is full of negativity, it becomes a closed door that Allah's mercy cannot enter. Complaining is like putting a lock on your own destiny. You tie your own hands, then wonder why life does not move. You shut your own doors, then wonder why Allah does not open them. Instead of complaining to people who cannot change your condition, learn to complain to Allah who can fix everything instantly. Tell Him your worries, tell Him your fears, tell Him your weaknesses, tell Him your struggles. Tell Him the things you cannot tell anyone else. Allah already knows what is inside your chest, but He loves when His servant speaks to Him directly, honestly and wholeheartedly. When you pour your heart out to Allah, He fills it with light. When you surrender your pain to Allah, He replaces it with peace. When you trust His timing, He shows you wisdom you did not know existed. Sometimes Allah delays your rizq not to punish you, but to protect you from something harmful. Sometimes He holds it back because He wants you to grow first. Sometimes He delays it because He wants your dua to become stronger and more sincere. Allah's delays are not denials, they are preparations. But when a person fills their life with constant complaints, negativity and doubt, they sabotage their own blessings and slow down the mercy that Allah is ready to send. To unblock your rizq, replace your complaints with gratitude, your doubts with trust, your negativity with patience, and your fear with dua. When you speak to Allah instead of complaining about Him, your entire life begins to change. Your heart becomes lighter, your stress becomes easier to carry, your mind becomes calmer, and your rizq begins to flow again, slowly at first, then more clearly, then powerfully. The dua for immediate openings, ease and abundant rizq. Recite this beautiful and powerful dua when your heart feels tight, when your life feels stuck, and when you desperately need Allah's help. Allahumma irzuqni rizqan wasi'an tayyiban min ghayri ta'abin wala mashaqqatin wala dararin wala nasabin. This dua is a request for Allah to grant you sustenance that is wide, pure, blessed and filled with ease. It is a dua that removes hardship, lifts burdens and opens doors that have been closed for years. It calls upon Allah's mercy, His generosity and His limitless ability to provide from places you could never imagine. Recite it with a heart full of trust, and Allah will bring relief to your situation in the most beautiful ways. Neglecting your obligations cuts off your rizq. Another reason many people struggle with their sustenance is that they neglect the very obligations Allah has placed upon them. Rizq is not only a matter of working harder or earning more, it is deeply connected to your relationship with Allah. When a person becomes careless with their prayers, careless with their responsibilities, careless with their honesty and careless with their duties, they create barriers between themselves and the barakah Allah wants to send into their lives. People often assume that money comes only from effort, but what they do not understand is that effort brings income while obedience brings barakah. And without barakah, even a large amount of income feels small. Many individuals complain that their business is slow, their job feels unstable, their savings disappear and their financial situation never improves, but they fail to look at their own spiritual condition. They miss Fajr repeatedly, they delay their prayers without reason, they lie in small matters thinking it is harmless, they break promises casually and they treat obligations lightly. When you neglect what Allah has made obligatory, you also reduce the blessings that Allah places in your work, your money, your time and your health. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that prayer is not just a ritual, it is the lifeline of the believer. It is what keeps the heart alive, the soul steady and the blessings flowing. When you protect your prayer, Allah protects your livelihood. When you honor your responsibilities, Allah honors your efforts. When you fulfill your obligations, Allah fulfills your needs. Rizq is not only about how much money you earn, but about how Allah makes that money work for you. Some people have little but live peacefully because Allah has placed barakah in their small amount. Others earn a lot but feel constant pressure and fear because Allah has removed